All right, and today I'm going to walk you guys through the process of kit bashing some Mordheim Dwarf treasure hunters for the NEMO event that's coming up this Sunday. So I have a couple different kits here. I have the Oathmark Dwarves from North Star Miniatures. I have Blood Bowl Dwarves, and I have some bits of some old Warhammer Fantasy Dwarves. I'm going to cut a couple pieces off here and clean up the bits using a sharp razor. We're going to use a body from the Oathmark Dwarves kit as the base and a Blood Bowl head. Dry fitting it, see that I like it. And a couple Blood Bowl arms here. The pistol hand is from an old Empire Mercenaries kit, the kind that you see with a lot of the original Mordheim models. I wanted to give my dwarf captain a pistol. And here's how it's looking so far after gluing those on. Next, we're going to cut out an axe because I think I'm going to replace that very Blood Bowl football looking hand with a more captain looking arm. I chop it at the elbow and glue that on. Here's how he's looking so far. And then I have a cape from this Dark Ages kit. And I've chopped that and put that on. You can make it out of green stuff, but this is going to save us a couple steps. Another Blood Bowl head for my Dwarf Engineer, and we're going to chop him at the nose and keep the beard, but replace the top of his head with this Empire head that I had that has some goggles on it, give him a much more engineer look. Gluing a Blood Bowl arm on, but we can see there's lots of gaps that need to be filled already. He's got this weird molded hand underneath his beard from the head. We're going to just scrape some of that away. Getting our green stuff ready. And you're going to want to mix that together thoroughly until it is green. Keeping your fingers moist as you do it. I'm going to start by filling in that hole where the cloak didn't quite fit for our Dwarf Noble. And then filled in all the gaps on the back of our Dwarf Engineer in between the shoulder blades of those two Blood Bowl shoulders. Using a sharp tool, we're going to make it look like fur. The way to do this is just kind of let it start to cure a little bit, and then you can pull at it and make threads from top to bottom. This is a look at the work we've done together, the Dwarf Noble all finished out. And the Dwarf Engineer, you can see I glued an old crossbow into his hand there and finished out the fur in between his shoulder blades, filling his body. And then you're never satisfied enough, so I did more work. And I replaced the arm on the Dwarf Noble to give him a much more imposing axe. Filled in his elbow between the joints there. And really liking the way this kind of pole axe looks. Did more work to the engineer as well, and replaced his crossbow with a much bigger crossbow from the Empire crossbow kit. Gave him a bolt in his right hand. Needs something to fire out of that crossbow. And then because on our roster sheet we equipped him with a hammer, I glued a hammer on his back and made a strap to hold that into place. Here's a sneak peek at some Dwarf Clansmen I made. Oathmark shields with Dwarf Warrior kit emblems glued onto them. And Dwarf Warrior two-handed axes for each of them. Dwarf Warrior heads on Oathmark bodies. And I'm also going to be gluing backpacks onto all of these with some bits that were sent to me by Kingsley Craft or Kaz Bannon on Instagram. Please go support him. These are all hand sculpted and cast in resin. Absolutely beautiful. Awesome guy. Give his Etsy and Instagram lots of love. And if you enjoyed the content, please take the time to subscribe and like this video. And I will see you in the next vlog update. We're getting close here to NEMO. So running out of time to hustle.